Smack it like. Get your tinfoil hats on. Aliens! Aliens! I'm not muted, Kevin. I'm not muted. Just because I greet you with a smile before I talk does not mean I'm immediately speaking! That's all that means! Hi! Hi! Hello! You want the beam sent to your mark? Too spicy! Hi, welcome! Pyramids muted me? No! Not the pyramids! Hello, lady. Hi, Lyle. But your hat and defluorided your water? Alright, you guys, you know the drill. Let's get those tinfoil hats up. Way up! Way up! Way up! Make sure that you are extra protected. You know what? Might as well just make this a dress. Really. 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 Yeah. I feel ultra protected. Yeah. And then the top part, I can stab an alien in the eye with. Gotta check for government moles. Yeah, who's the mole? Who's been talking? Who's been talking? Was it you, Kevin? Was it Kevin? Again, was it you? Gucci is weeping. Yeah, this is my new look for the summer. I call it Help Me. You're the mole hitch? No way. You're new to conspiracy? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I would also guess Kevin. I'm telling you, Kevin's sus, you guys. I'm telling you. Kevin's innocent this time. What's your new line? Starts at 30 grand. 30 grand what? Moles? Like the animals? Is Kevin a mole? Yeah, Gucci loves this look. And around and around and around it goes. Where it stops, no one knows. Reina's here just for show. A boop rap boop ba boop ba boo. Hi, chat. Hi. Hi. Hello. No, I don't think Kevin. We weren't saying you're a bot. We're saying you're a mole, Kevin. You're a spy. You're a spy. here to give my most prized secrets, like the fact that I don't sleep with pants on, or I really, 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 really hate ET. You can't tell anybody that. Shut up. He looks disgusting. Disgusting. You never watch ET? Good. You're not missing anything. An alien robot. No! No phone home! ET's on the bed. Okay. Okay, I know. God, I'm gonna cry even just saying this. I know it's an irrational fear. I know it doesn't make sense. I know, in my head, in my brain, I know it doesn't make sense. But you guys, I'm not just ragging on him to rag on him. I legitimately have a fear of ET. Okay? I do. I know it's dumb. I get it. I know it's stupid. I understand. But I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm so afraid of him. I'm so afraid of him. Hi, Coyote. Brooding alien. I'm afraid of him. My mom scarred me for life. Blame her. Weird face shape was weird. ¿Por qué no los dos? Photos. Yes, I have a very serious ET phobia. I would say it's one of my biggest fears. It's like top 3 fears. Top 3. And I know it's dumb. And I am embarrassed. I am embarrassed. But I was gonna blame your mom for, everything. She loves me. I promise you she does, but she's also the cause of many of my issues. So while I stream now, like, hi! It's true, Mom! It's true! No 18 plushies, please! Please! What are the other 2? Nothing. Nothing. People? Probably. It's more embarrassing to mention our ET. I feel like the ET one's more embarrassing because no one's afraid of ET. Too spicy. But yeah, no, like I feel like that's more. I'm more embarrassed about that. You are, yeah, and I'm no one. I'm a nobody. Boop, 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 boop. I feel like that's not a common fear. Ask a girl what her fears are. It's like, oh, I'm afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of, I don't know, break-ins. I am afraid of ET. I'm afraid of ET. And I'm sorry. I won't let Reina insult Reina like this and call herself a nobody. You stop that right now. I just mean like I'm like one person. I'm one entity. Or somebody though. Says who? ET is really anymore. Ah! Ah! No, Kevin, if I picture you as ET, I'm just picturing ET. Because I don't know what you look like. I don't even know what your voice is like. You know? I'm just picturing you are ET now, and that's a bad association, Kevin. You don't want that. Kevin's an alien! No! Stop it! I quit. I'm leaving. If you guys make fun of me for it, I'm ending stream. I know it's dumb, but don't say it's dumb. You don't imagine him as a pink hair character? Profile picture? No, I don't. I picture him like ET now. Sound like a SpongeBob character. SpongeBob. Now you know we're gonna make fun of you for it. Well, you guys have already known this. If I just reminded you. Well, now I feel dumb. Because I thought you guys already knew. Although I'm glad if you forgot because I don't want to see his face all the time. Like I'm genuinely afraid of him. So I would appreciate it if you wouldn't put his face everywhere. Please. It makes me cry! Ah! How do we get on this? Oh yeah! Aliens! Also, I have line. Aliens! Alien! I think this is like the perfect stream to drink for. Because it's so unhinged. With them, so you should be fine. This is Kevin? I say this is Kevin, is this you? Kevin! Yes, please don't. Kevin! Please don't change your profile picture. I will cry. And not in a good way. It's way too much hair. tag. Oh, she plays tonight. That's okay. That's alright. Look at the timestamps. I can't believe the aliens guy watches this on to Reina. Yeah! I know! Kevin, why don't you sponsor Kawaii, Kevin? What's wrong with you? Your normal boring hair? And that hair looks pretty plain to me. I'm not bald! Who's going around here saying I'm bald? Who's the one going around here saying I'm bald? I'm not bald. You know who's bald? She is bald. Sharzu is bald. I'm not bald! I'm not bald. I'm not bald. It's a bald cap! Yeah, wait, I'm gonna just go shave my head real quick. No, my hair is too long. I work too hard to keep my hair as shiny and pink as it is. Okay? No, not bald. No, it's not an insider secret. Why are you saying not yet? Who's saying not yet? What do you mean not yet? Mate. Mate. My hair is pink! Just as pink as the fact that I'm a demon! Men in Black is on to us. Hi. Oh, we should watch a video of Men in Black. Oh, speaking of, gotta get into the conspiracy. We gotta get into conspiracy. What? Yo. Hershey's chocolate. No, it's my tinfoil hat. It's not a Hershey's Kiss. Oh, maybe. Had a kiss. Mwah. Kiss from Conspiracy Demon. That's a unique kiss. Mwah. Are you a time traveler? Because I see you in my future. Yeah, 41,000 years? Huh? No, I won't. No, I won't. My hair will just get longer. Longer and longer all the way down through the underworld, and then I flip back up and go up and up and up and up to the heavens. Whirl itself around down to earth. How hair works. Conspiracy kiss sounds bad. Hey kid, do you believe in conspiracies? Here's a smooch. Like that? That's the only way I think it could be bad. Too spicy. You guys are sick. Yeah, I'm Rapunzel. I'm Rapunzel. Alright, you guys see the link? Let me get the video up. Second. Sorry. I'm just dying. Casual. I'm just dying. Oh. Mom's all saying hi, Mom! Tell her I said hi. What's she do on her day off? What are you guys doing? Okay. Video's pinned already. Hide the poll. Hide the poll. One thing. Sorry. I'm just gonna pause that. Okay. Oh, I didn't tweet that we're live. Let me tweet. I got a donation. Hey, thank you so much for the donation. Oh, hello? We're gonna British AT, I know it. Also, send your member a message. I'm sorry. Thank you, Tony, for being a member for 17 months. It's been a while since Reina last mentioned about ET. Also, hello? Thank you for being a member. Thank you. Arigato. Spoiler, Reina, spoiler. No, that was just a song cover. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me. One second. One second. Oh. Why? Stop. Don't cover yours. No. Oh, just song covers. Hey, jeez. Gosh, not a big deal. No one's Nami was telling me. You're right, there's no red arrows in the thumbnail. Do. No. Yes. Okay. I can stop glitching. Are we ready? I feel like I want a snack.
This episode of the Y-Files is brought to you by Temu.
Sound okay?
Cultures around the world have myths that speak of a mysterious underground kingdom that exists deep within the earth, hidden away from the primitive and violent surface dwellers, which is us. Picture a society untouched by time.
Primitive? Violent? Yeah, I guess that accurately depicts you. Yeah, you guys are pretty good with the times. Learn some magic, why don't you? You know, what are you guys doing? You use your hands for everything. Everything. just like evolved faster, no?
Unscathed by war and unaffected by natural disasters. A culture thriving in the vast open spaces inside the Earth.
Stop it,
Throughout
Tony!
history, many have looked for physical evidence of its existence, tempted by stories of a peaceful but powerful subterranean civilization with advanced technology and ancient knowledge long forgotten by modern man. This is the story of the underground kingdom of
All about how my life got flipped upside down. Okay.
Agartha, and the explorers who've said that not only is it a real place, but they know where it is.
Don't use your feet. It's a big violent. Try it sometime.
Will you hurry up? I got a 6:30 res.
Oh, is this a sponsorship? Alright, you guys sit to the sponsorship. I'm gonna go get food.
Oh, will you stop being such a baby and get in here?
Remind me again, why are we doing this?
We are practicing for a Bigfoot hunting expedition.
Oh, so that's why we've got a campfire, we've got the night vision goggles, I'm wearing this crazy suit. But what's with you and the hat?
Oh, my sweet summer human. I am a fish. In the woods, we are in my world. You, however, need this camouflage so you don't spook the Sam Squamch.
Okay, but why are we bringing these pictures?
Oh, Gertie and I went to the mall last weekend. They had one of those photo booths there.
How in the world did you two fit
Well,
in the...
Gertie doesn't like camping, but she doesn't want me to forget her.
You know you're codependent, right?
Of course I know.
Take it easy. Anyway, where did you get all this stuff? Wait, is this today's sponsor?
Bingo! Temu is a global e-commerce marketplace that sells a huge variety of products at affordable prices.
Huh, nice job on the copy.
Ah, thanks. I've been working with a media trainer. Ahem. And if you click on the Lightning Deals link in the description, you can find surprise deals picked by me and Temu, just for viewers of the Y-Files. Like these infrared night vision binoculars, normally $95, just $33. Or a 40-ounce stainless steel tumbler with lid, not $30, just $11. Hey, take out the tumbler and show the people, would ya? It's in the secret compartment under your desk.
Yeah, I don't see it. There is a scrub brush, though.
Oh yeah, I need to scrub Gertie's hump later.
And there's this USB speaker.
Well, that's to play hump scrubbing music.
What's hump scrubbing music?
Well, mostly light hits and smooth jazz. It really depends on the speed of the brush, you know what I'm talking about?
I don't, and I'm sorry I asked. Oh wait, do you mean this tumbler?
That's the one.
So they can get all this stuff on Temu? Tumbler, the crazy suit, night vision, campfires?
And the speaker, and the hump scrubber.
I think it's just called a magic brush.
Oh, magic is right. When I use...
Okay.
Stories of a hollow earth have existed in cultures for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Nearly every ancient society has stories about an underground realm, often inhabited by superior beings. Buddhists firmly believe in the subterranean kingdom of Agartha, ruled by the mysterious king of the world.
Ooh, Leonardo DiCaprio?
No. Agartha is said to be home to millions and connected to the surface by a vast tunnel network within the planet's crust. Indian religions speak of a place called Patala, which translates to that which is below the feet. Patala is described as a beautiful land full of rolling green hills and crystal clear lakes. Agartha is described as
spicy
the
salsa on everything.
real Garden of Eden, that when God cast Adam and Eve out of the garden, he actually sent them to the surface. In an ancient Mayan text called the Popol Vuh, there is the story of Xibalba, an underworld civilization. And from Xibalba, twin brothers...
Okay. It's all watery. Salsa. Hey, how about you go watch that Temu ad again? Wow. I didn't grab salsa. Who wants to guess what Reina grabbed instead of her salsa from her fridge? Who wants to guess? Not salsa. It's enchilada sauce. I'll be back.
I don't see it. There is a scrub brush, though.
Oh yeah, I need to scrub Gertie's hump later.
And there's this USB speaker.
Well, that's to play hump scrubbing music.
What's hump scrubbing music?
Well, mostly light hits and smooth jazz. It really depends on the speed of the brush, you know what I'm talking about?
I don't, and I'm sorry I asked. Oh wait, do you mean this tumbler?
That's the one.
So they can get all this stuff on Temu? Tumblr, the crazy suit, night vision, campfires.
And the speaker, and the hump scrubber.
I think it's just called a magic brush.
Oh, magic is right. When I use that thing, Gertie purrs like a kitten. So download the Temu app from the App Store or Google Play and use the link in the description or download and enter code TWF050 to get 50% off your first order of $50 or more.
Sounds pretty easy.
It is. Okay, time to suit up. Let's go bag a Sam Squamch.
I really don't want to.
Put it on.
Fine.
You look perfect. Okay, now let's practice that Bigfoot and mating call.
I told you I'm
Do
not...
it.
Ooh, you too. Hey, look up here. You too, look up here.
Perfect.
Hey, did you just take a picture?
No.
You did, I heard you. Which...
Okay, let's start from the beginning. I have the actual salsa now.
No. Agartha is said to be home to millions and connected to the surface by a vast tunnel network within the planet's crust. Indian religions speak of a place called Patala, which translates to that which is below the feet. Patala is described as a beautiful land full
I didn't
of
spill
rolling
it.
green hills.
It's because the enchilada sauce is runny.
Agartha is described the same way. Some believe this is the real Garden of Eden, that when God cast Adam and Eve out of the garden, he actually sent them to the surface. In an ancient Mayan text called the Popol Vuh, there is the story of Xibalba, an underworld civilization.
Pyramid right there.
And from Xibalba, twin brothers emerge, and like Adam and Eve, they became the first people above ground.
They were twins? Hey, Logan. Hey. We're here to have a good time, right? That's fine. I don't mind the ads. I think they're creative. Not just like, Raid Shadow Legends, download your characters today. No?
Maztalk is the place where the Aztecs emerged to live on the surface of the earth. It translates to 7 caves, and researchers are actually...
What are you guys gonna say? In 30,000 years, when I'm still here streaming, and I'm an old lady demon, what are you guys gonna say? You're gonna be like, oh man, Reina's voice sounds like she's 7,000. She's only 40,000. She's 40,000 demon years old, Earth years old. No? Guys, are you guys gonna say that about me? Huh? You better not!
looking for it, and some think they found it. African and other Native American legends also mention subterranean realms and cavern spirits. The most consistent story is that of an advanced inner-earth civilization isolated from surface humanity. The Sumerians knew it as Kur, a void space or home of the dead.
Great
The
channel
Babylonians
legends.
called it Urkapa, another world ruled by gods. The Chinese call this underworld Diyu, and the Japanese call it Yomi.
Ooh. No? Okay. By the way, why the question mark? Honest question. I don't sound like a 12-year-old. You relax, listen. That's a fact.
Ancient Egypt, Islam, Greek, Rome, even Celtic Irish. They all have myths of an underground world. More modern myths may call this place hell, but it could be argued that hell is a relatively new concept, that it's a construct designed to create fear and inspire good behavior.
I mean, hell, I can tell you hell is real. But I will also say, there are a lot of parts of hell that don't get talked about. Like really pretty parts of hell. You guys gotta come visit down here sometime. Pretty chill. Most of the time. All of that, like, repent for your sins stuff, gonna go to hell stuff, it's not as bad as people say. But I'm a demon, so what do I know?
But before the concept of hell, the underworld was inhabited by advanced, godlike people who came to the surface of the earth. Once on the surface, they either created humanity or taught
Cutting in and out?
civilization to primitive humans. It's easy enough to interpret those as the same thing. And like the flood myth, which is present in every ancient culture, the inner earth story also appears over and over again. Recent discoveries are starting to point to the fact that a great flood did really happen. So when cultures from all over the world share the same myth, we have to start looking at all those myths as maybe more than just a story. Those myths may be referring to actual history. But to prove the existence of Agartha, an underground civilization,
Yes, prove the
on hollow
existence.
Earth, we'll need more than stories.
Mm-hmm.
We need scientific evidence and
Yeah.
eyewitness testimony.
All this evidence though in these videos is always like, yeah, and they took a picture of this. And later he's like, but it was Photoshop! You know? I hope we actually see some evidence.
Fortunately, we have both.
We both? Oh! Prove it!
The hollow Earth theory proposes that our planet is not a solid sphere, but a hollow one.
Go upstate!
Spaces within. In 1692, astronomer Edmund Halley proposed a hollow Earth consisting of a shell about 500 miles thick. Within that shell are two concentric spheres and a central core about the diameter of Venus.
Wait a second, did I say the heavens? Oh, wait. Did I just say the heavens? The heavens? Are you saying that... He's saying that the first layer in Earth below heaven's right in there? I can tell you it's not. Further deeper you go, it's like the 7 layers of hell. All throughout. Boom! I just solved your mystery for you. That's what it is! We got a couple pyramids in there too. Of course we do.
That shell are two concentric spheres and a central core about the diameter of Venus. Halley said the spaces in between the shells would support life, with light provided by a luminous atmosphere. In the late 18th century,
okay. It looks like he's... Come on! It looks like a snake oil says, and he's like... Yeah, he's winking in his photo! Yeah! I know what I'm talking about. Come on! I don't trust this guy. The portraits could have done so... Come on!
Leonard Euler
he knew what he was doing.
Calculations to hypothesize a hollow Earth with a central sun. Euler's calculations suggested that gravity would propel matter equally in all directions, forming spheres with hollow interiors.
Wait.
What?
How can the Earth be hollow and flat at the same time?
And have its own
the Earth
sun.
isn't flat.
Planes always fly in a straight line. If the Earth was round, they would have to adjust for that.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Speaking of planes, if the Earth was a spinning ball, you'd be able to fly a helicopter straight up in the air, wait for the ball to spin, and then land on the other side of the planet.
No!
Yeah, the atmosphere spins too.
The air.
Yeah.
Right. How fast does the Earth spin?
Well, that depends on the latitude. Between 300 and 1,000 miles an hour.
Right, so empty air sticks to the ground, moving at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yep.
In perfect sync. Everywhere on a big round ball.
Yes.
Agree to disagree.
But what does modern science have to say about the hollow Earth? On the surface,
yeah, what does it
hollow
say?
theory seems to defy basic geological understanding. Seismic data and the study of Earth's gravitational field suggest that...
Are you missed by Hecklefish? Because, I mean, Hecklefish is there to be annoying. Yeah, we're getting Hecklefish lore, you guys.
Our planet is composed of several layers: the crust, the mantle, and the core. However, proponents of the hollow Earth theory argue that the data are open to interpretation. They point to anomalies in seismic readings, which they claim could be indicative of large empty spaces within the Earth. They also cite the existence of vast underground caves as evidence of the Earth's hollowness. And if the Earth is hollow, it could support the large population of Agartha. Even if the Earth isn't completely hollow...
Yeah, like, what would it... Because I can't get... So, okay, are they saying it has its own sun in there? Wouldn't we know? I mean, I know we know the center of the Earth is hot. Go figure, right? Supposedly magma and stuff down there. But are they saying that the... How would it have its own ecosystem, its own heat source, its own light? How?
If there are vast hollow areas within the Earth, why couldn't they house a hidden civilization? Some trace the story of Agartha back to ancient Buddhist texts, where it's described as a paradise, a place of pure harmony and advanced knowledge.
Zombies?
In the Western world, what we know about Agartha mostly comes from Alexandre Saint-Yves Delvedre. He was a French intellectual and occultist. He spoke of Agartha as a secret civilization, its people possessing wisdom and technology far beyond our understanding. Saint-Yves learned of Agartha through his Sanskrit teacher, who insisted it was a real geographic place. Saint-Yves' descriptions of Agartha were vivid and detailed. He spoke of grand palaces illuminated by magical light and of advanced technologies that harnessed the Earth's magnetic field. In the 19th century, Agarthans already had citywide lighting, railways, and even air travel.
Where? Air travel where? They're in Earth!
Saint-Yves believed that the Agarthans were the guardians of sacred knowledge, A knowledge that can bring about a golden age of peace and
Let's be
enlightenment on the
legit.
surface world. Others would continue the search for Agartha. Occultist Elena Blavatsky searched for evidence of a hollow Earth and the secret tunnels that Agarthans use to travel all over the planet. But as far as we know, Santiv and Madame Blavatsky didn't find Agartha. But not because it doesn't exist, because they didn't know where to look. But we do.
Where? Tell me, please explain this to me.
The reason Edmund Halley started exploring the idea that the Earth was hollow was because of strange compass readings in
Tim, I know I'm eating and I'm not really reacting as much right now, or giving my thoughts. That's because I want to see where he goes with this, because we're gonna listen, and then I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking was gonna be talked about, and then we'll go further from there. Okay? Okay?
in the Atlantic. He believed that the aurora borealis resulted from gases escaping from the inner spheres inside the Earth. This suggested there were entrances at the north and south.
Isn't it based off a shift of light?
Inside, you can navigate the inner shells through vast cave and tunnel systems. The hollow Earth theory fell out of favor for a while, but gained new life in 1818. American John Sims launched the notorious Sims hole theory. He declared that the Earth was hollow and habitable.
The
The
Sims?
inner Earth is comprised of 4 nested shells with openings at the poles. And Sims dedicated much of his life to promoting this theory by trying to put together a polar expedition, though that never happened. In 1829, Norwegian fisherman Olaf Jansen claimed that he and his father sailed through a polar opening and into the planet's interior. There they spent 2 years among a race of giants before exiting through the South Pole. His story is documented in the book The Smoky God by Willis George Emerson.
Those who are more conspiratorial than me. Isn't there research being done on the poles here on Earth? Like, aren't the poles, like, marked off? Like, people can't go to them without special permission? I'm pretty sure, right?
Emerson, which is a fun read. But probably the most famous and detailed account of the world inside the Earth comes from Admiral Richard E. Byrd. Admiral Byrd was an aviation pioneer, polar explorer, and one of the most decorated and celebrated officers in the history of the American military. So, a serious guy. Byrd took his plane out on a quick survey mission of the North Pole. As he was flying over ice and snow, he noticed the sunlight changed. Then it got warmer. A few minutes later, he was flying over fields of green grass and forests and rivers. He even saw a woolly mammoth graze.
Wait, how do we get here?
And once inside,
I'm sorry.
he could navigate the inner shells through vast cave and tunnel systems. The hollow Earth theory fell out of favor for a while, but gained new life in 1818. American John Sims launched the notorious Sims hole theory. He declared that the Earth was hollow and habitable. He said the inner Earth is comprised of 4 nested shells with openings at the poles. And Sims dedicated much of his life to promoting this theory by trying to put together a polar expedition, though that never happened.
I declare the Earth is hollow! Wow. Man, if only we could just get things by declaring them. I declare bankruptcy!
In 1829, Norwegian fisherman Olaf Jansen claimed that he and his father sailed through a polar opening and into the planet's interior. There they spent 2 years among a race of giants before exiting through the South Pole. His story is documented in the book The Smoky God by Willis George Emerson, which is a fun read.
Giants?
But probably the most famous and detailed account of the world inside the Earth comes from Admiral Richard E. Byrd. Admiral Byrd was an aviation pioneer, polar explorer, and one of the most decorated and celebrated officers in the history of the American military, so a serious guy. Byrd took his plane out on a quick survey mission of the North Pole. As he was flying over ice and snow, he noticed the sunlight changed. Then it got warmer. A few minutes later, he was flying over fields of green grass and forests and rivers. He even saw a woolly mammoth grazing in one of those fields.
A woolly mammoth? They didn't have hypothermia? A woolly mammoth just walking around?
Then he no longer had control of his plane, and suddenly 2 craft came up beside him.
Whoa!
Off our port and starboard wings are a strange type of aircraft. They are closing rapidly alongside. They are disc-shaped and have a radiant quality to them.
But they are woolly. Now how are they in the sun?
It's a type of swastika. This is fantastic. Where are we? What has happened? I tug at the controls again.
Wait. You're right though. They're they're woolly mammoths. How do they just exist in a green pasture? They're covered in hair.
They will not respond. We are caught in an invisible vice grip of some type.
Okay, but that's true,
Admiral Byrd
Kingy.
lands and is escorted by tall blonde men to an underground city. There, the Admiral meets someone called the Master. Now, I linked to an episode where I go into a lot of detail
That was me.
about what Admiral Byrd found.
That
so
Master?
check
That was
out if
me.
you want to learn more. I'll try not to spoil too much here. So Admiral Byrd found a way to the Hollow Earth in the North Pole. Others have found their way in through the South Pole. The South Pole is often connected to Nazi Germany. Hitler was an occultist and was famously fascinated by the possibility that the Hollow Earth could be accessed through Antarctica. Germany did make an expedition to Antarctica in 1938. I theorized in the Operation High Jump episode that this was the reason the United States sent such a large, well-armed task force down there in 1946. The Germans had maps of the area, including a cave system underneath the surface. They even had step-by-step directions on how to get into the Hollow Earth. The directions are very specific. Distances right down to the
Did you
meter.
shave it?
After you follow the first 8 steps, the 9th step is interesting.
Proceed to Agartha. Full speed. Process straight ahead until the new light.
Did you say it so casually? Oh yeah, you're gonna keep going here. You're gonna go down this way. All right, and then you're gonna make a left turn right at Agartha. Go right to Agartha. What?
Can be seen. Change of magnetic poles. The changes of the
Aliens.
compass needle and instruments are to be disregarded.
Aliens.
German U-boat 209, commanded by Heinrich Broda, said he reached the interior of the Earth and found a vast network of tunnels. There are rumors that after Germany
You're bad with
some
directions.
Nazis fled to Antarctica and hid in these tunnels. And other rumors say they're still there.
But you're not a woolly mammoth. You're not 3,000 bajillion kilograms and covered in tusks and fur.
Tunnels aren't the only way to get into the cave system that leads to Agartha. There are entrances all over the world.
Yeah, what if it's a red
And
herring?
chances are
They're just like, I
there's
gotcha.
one near you.
Yeah, this is all ringing like fiction to me. Usually I'm like, okay, I don't know, this could be kind of real. And I don't know.
The grid system is a network of energy lines crisscrossing the planet. These lines are said to influence everything from ancient monument placement to the patterns of animal migration. The idea of a planetary grid goes back to the ancient Greeks, who believed in a concept called amphelos, the Earth's central core. And you can see this concept expressed in places like the Oracle at Delphi, said to be the center of the ancient world. A few centuries later, in the 1920s, Alfred Watkins noticed that ancient sites seemed to line up along straight paths. He termed these ley lines. And while some considered his theory a coincidence, others saw a pattern connected to the Earth's geography. More recently, the
I saw a pattern too! Oh, those pyramids. Pyramid. Everywhere! That one's especially suspicious. Oh my god!
connected to the Earth's
It's all connected!
geography. More recently, the unified vector geometry theory was proposed by Buckminster Fuller and later developed by scientists like William Becker and Ben Higgins. According to this theory, the Earth is covered by an invisible grid formed by 120 identical triangles. This grid supposedly aligns with significant geographical and historical points across the globe.
Nope.
Take the Great Pyramid of Giza. According to the unified vector geometry theory, it isn't randomly placed, but occupies a crucial point on this global energy grid.
Look
This
at it!
applies to other ancient landmarks like Stonehenge and Machu Picchu. The
I do want to say,
line-
I just poked my screen, my actual monitor, and went, look at it! Like you can... like you can see me pointing at it! You can't even see it!
and even the Bermuda Triangle. In addition to the North and South Poles, entrances to the Kingdom of Agartha are also found on some of these planetary grid points. Let's take a quick trip around the world and look for a way in.
Yeah, let's go in!
The first way into the Hollow Earth is in the caves of Diros in Greece. This entrance is closely connected to Plato and the story of Atlantis. From Greece across the Mediterranean to Mount Epimeo in Italy.
Ooh.
For centuries,
Pretty.
this has been called a portal to the inner earth.
Yeah, it is. I can.
Now going south across the Mediterranean is the Pyramid of Giza. Giza doesn't seem like it would have
Pretty sus. Sus to me. Pretty sus. Look at that. It's on to something. What are you planning?
access to the Hollow Earth, but we now know that underneath the pyramids is a vast cave system, underground rivers, reservoirs, and tunnels. With modern technology like ground-penetrating radar, new caverns and chambers are discovered all the time. Another entrance to the Earth is said to be within King Solomon's mines. Solomon, a king of Israel and son of King David, was known for his wisdom, power, and his personal fortune, described as one of the largest on Earth. King Solomon's mines became known to the world because of the famous novel featuring the character Alan Quatermain, an adventurer you might remember from the movie The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Quatermain was played
never
by
heard of
Sean
it.
Connery.
Oof. That's rough, buddy.
Underrated movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
Never heard of it.
Wealth is usually associated with gold.
Yeah, the
but
Earth
King
hole.
Solomon's
Right,
wealth
exactly.
is thought to have come from the mining of copper. And these mines would have been operating around the 13th century BC. Now, even though the legend of King Solomon's mines comes from a fictional novel, treasure hunters believe this is a real place and have been searching for it for a long time.
Okay, well, that's their problem. I mean, there's no basis in historical fact that it exists. Come on. I don't know. Are we really gonna rely on treasure hunters?
In 2008, there might have been a breakthrough. An ancient mining city was discovered in Khirbat el Nahas in Jordan.
Ooh?
There, archaeologists discovered a copper mine and a copper smelting camp, which seemed to be operational in the 13th century BC. The team also found a lot of personal items, including clothing, ceramics, fabric, even tools, all indicating a highly
I'm just gonna say this. There are some people that Scientology is real, even though it was written by a science fiction author. Okay? People will believe what they're gonna believe. As a demon, who am I to judge? As a demon, I welcome all beliefs. But I'm just saying, doesn't mean it's all true.
developed
Michael
long-term
Jordan.
settlement at the site. And these objects have been dated to the same period as King Solomon's mines. The next entrance is said to be in Rama, India, where an ancient subterranean city was recently discovered.
They kicked who out?
Tibet is home to many stories about Hollow Earth, so it's not surprising that there are entrances underneath the Himalayas. One of these is in the
that's
underground city
gorgeous.
of Shonshe, which, according to legend, has been guarded by monks for thousands of years. But there are
Ooh.
entrances to the inner earth in the west, too. Iguazu in Argentina allegedly has an entrance hidden somewhere underneath the famous waterfalls.
Okay.
Underneath Mato Grosso in Brazil is said to be the city of Posid, which was built by Atlanteans.
Okay. We're going through all of this. We still have 19 minutes. My whole takeaway right now is, if these are all portals to the center of the earth, why have we not seen it? But I guarantee you there's some crazy Indiana Jones people who are probably trying to go and explore these and figure it out. There's no way we wouldn't know. Then again, I guess we're just now finding out about aliens, kind of officially. So I don't know.
After the destruction of Atlantis, even the United States has gateways to the Hollow Earth. Mammoth Cave in Kentucky has been known as an entrance since the first native tribes arrived there thousands of years ago. The most famous entrance to the Hollow Earth in the United States is probably Mount Shasta. It's here where the city of Telos is said to have been built and is still occupied. And there is a lot of evidence that something is happening there. I linked to an episode we did where we called Mount Shasta the most paranormal place on Earth.
Bye,
And it
Brandon. Thank
absolutely is.
you. See you.
And these are just a few entrances to the kingdom of Agartha in North America. There are others in Arkansas, California, and other states, and several locations in Canada. Even the site of the secret underground base in Dulce, New Mexico, was said to be chosen because of its proximity to an entrance to the inner Earth. And we did an episode on Dulce Base as well. And you might have noticed that a lot of alleged entrances to the Hollow Earth coincide with locations famous for UFO sightings. And this might not be a coincidence. Whenever someone mentions a UFO, our instinct is to look up toward the sky, space. Turns out, we might be looking in the wrong direction. When we think of UFOs, we think of extraterrestrials from a distant star. And that could be true. But there's also the theory that UFOs aren't coming from a different planet, but from inside our
This is what I want to hear. This is where I'm at.
Speaking, it makes more sense that there's a race of humanoid beings living within the Earth, as opposed to a race of humanoid beings who have somehow figured out how to cross the vast distances of space.
I don't know.
It seems that the aliens we talk about are all humanoid. Whether they're the small grays, the tall whites, or even the goblin-type aliens, they're all kind of...
Hey, Mom, can we get an alien? No, wait, no, we have an alien at home. The alien at home. Let me put these chips down. Oh my god, it's freaking hilarious. Tribe? Tribe! This is just a goblin from Baldur's Gate 3. Missing his nose.
They'll look like us. 2 eyes, nose, mouth, 2 legs, feet and toes, 2 arms with hands and fingers. Even the size of the beings is close to the size of humans. Now,
That's me right there, oh my gosh. My face reveal! No, don't look at me! I'm shy! I'm shy! Don't!
maybe all intelligent life in the universe evolves this way. But I would expect life in different biomes, in different ecosystems, on different planets, light years away, to look radically different than humans. But they don't. So it's possible that they're from here, just in places we can't normally see.
Okay, that does not mean that they have their own sun in there. It doesn't mean they have their own... doesn't mean that they act like us. I was picturing, if we do have aliens here, and the spacecrafts and whatever we're seeing around here, if that is coming from inside the Earth, I would have pictured them more like a mole people. Like, almost like the farmer, but smart. like, that would explain them being hairless. That would explain them, like, the off color if they're not getting proper sunlight. I feel like those things would make more sense to me. Then they were so crazy advanced. They had their own trees and I don't know, because I know they have to get to space somehow to get to where we are. But I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a yes and no. I understand where it's coming from, but I don't necessarily agree with every aspect. And I don't really think any of it's true, but I just mean like if we're saying it is true, some of this stuff doesn't add up. Why would there be woolly mammoths? Used to be an alien? No, I can't touch my head! No!
We see a lot of UFOs coming out of the ocean, but we haven't found any type of base, at least not a confirmed sighting. So what if the base is inside the hollow Earth, under the ocean? I can think of no better hiding place.
Far side of the moon.
Yeah, that would be a good hiding place. And there are crazy things happening on the far side of the moon, and an episode on that is coming up. There have been many UFO sightings around Mount Shasta where the object flies into the mountain and then disappears. Now, assuming the witnesses are telling the truth, and I believe they are, the objects are going
What? My thoughts watching this.
somewhere. In the Arctic near the North Pole, the earliest reported UFO sightings go back to the year 1850. Captain DeHaven and his medical officer saw what they thought was a balloon, but then a second object appeared, and suddenly both objects vanished. Around midnight on January 22nd, 1952, a strange object was tracked on radar at a military outpost in northern Alaska. It was moving at 1,500 miles per hour, which no aircraft on Earth could do.
I'm not saying these aren't real. I'm not saying that these aren't happening. What I'm saying is that doesn't mean there's a whole society underground. I think that like maybe there's something to work with in the Hollow Earth theory, but saying that they had their own world and whole woolly mammoths and you just fly into it makes no sense to me. No sense.
Jets were sent to investigate, and as the jets approached, the radar blip
You live in a
slowed down
society.
and just hovered. A few seconds later, it
I got salsa in my hair.
moving even faster than before. On October 5th, 1960, the ballistic missile early warning station at Thule, Greenland, thought World War III had started. Radar was tracking multiple objects moving at speeds too fast to be anything except a Soviet
radar?
missile attack.
Broken
Within
radar?
minutes,
Broken?
US bases in England and Canada were mobilized, and NORAD and the Strategic Air Command were alerted. A few minutes later, the radar
These aliens would make a World War III happen. What can't they do?
signals changed course and disappeared.
It's another
somewhere
society.
near the North Pole. The military has been dealing with Arctic UFOs since 1945. The first UFO in Alaska emerged from the sea in March of that year. 14 crew members on an Army transport ship witnessed the...
I mean, I've been around since the dawn of time, you know, because I'm a demon. I didn't start VTubing until like a couple years ago, but I've been around. I've been here the whole time. I see what you do at night.
the object. It approached the ship, circled it, and then flew
Gross.
away.
Stop drinking from the milk
And there were
carton
many more
directly.
sightings in the Arctic
Stop
during this
it.
time. Inuits in the
Stop.
Arctic regions have encountered UFOs in the past and included them in their myth.
Clocko! Hi, Clocko! Hi!
Once a man from the Buckland River tribe discovered what appeared to be a UFO landing site. 2 strips of land approximately 2 feet wide had been burned all the way down to the ground. On Sledge Island, Inuits have a legend of a massive ball of fire resembling the moon that descended from the sky. Shortly after the object was spotted, a creature described as a human skeleton appeared in the village.
Okay, I'm sure they didn't appreciate.
According to the legend, this visitor was not friendly and killed most of the people it encountered. These are just a small fraction of the stories about UFOs and visitors coming from the ocean, from the poles, or...
Okay, but that does not mean that there is some kind... That doesn't... Maybe they can breathe underwater. Maybe their technology is able to, like, function underwater. That doesn't mean that they can somehow make a whole world that we're not aware of. Like, the center of the Earth is so hot. I'm not sure how far down we've drilled, but it's got, like, this magma down there. It's hot down there. You know? I mean, I would be fine, but you guys probably wouldn't be. Yeah, I'm fine. That's what they want you to do. Yeah, Clocko, my day's going great. Thank you. That's what they want you to think. Shut up. Shut up. Too shy for a face reveal. You think they know how to drill? Yeah, all that pressure. We can't even withstand being, like, underwater to a certain depth, right? You telling me these little gray guys can just function under tons and tons and tons of pressure? Or because the Earth is hollow, is that pressure non-existent? Are we going to talk about that?
or the middle of the Earth. So we've covered the eyewitness accounts.
They're in
The next
pockets
piece
in the
of Hollow
ground?
Earth puzzle is scientific evidence. We have that too.
What scientific evidence?
The
Sims hole is not
Konosuba borehole
science.
is just 9 inches in
My Sims
diameter.
have lots of holes.
30,230 feet. It's the deepest hole.
They're
on
not
Earth. It
physicists.
took almost 20 years to reach its depth of 7.5 miles.
Mel's hole is deeper than that.
Well, that's true, but that's another episode.
They pulled some crazy stuff out of Mel's hole.
Kola Super Deep was abandoned in 1992 when the drillers encountered higher than expected temperatures. Over 350 degrees Fahrenheit, the drill just couldn't handle the heat. 7.5 miles is a deep hole, but it's 4,000 miles to the Earth's core.
Because of science?
So Kola Super Deep is nothing. And since grade school, we've been taught that the Earth is made up of the crust, the mantle, and the core.
Yeah.
And the core is 2 layers. The outer core is almost 1,400 miles thick and mostly made of liquid iron and nickel. The inner core is a solid sphere with a radius of about 750 miles. And the
Okay.
outer core is thought to be comprised mostly of iron and some nickel. But if we've only dug 7.5
And your mama.
miles down, how do we know for sure what's down there? Well, we don't. But by using different methods, scientists can take a guess.
Oh, come
The
on.
primary way we've learned about the Earth's core is through the study of seismic waves. These are waves of energy that travel through the Earth's layers. They move at different speeds depending on the density and the composition of the layer they're passing through. Further evidence comes from the Earth's magnetic field, which is best explained by a dynamo effect. This is the spinning motion of the liquid iron and nickel which generates the field. But something strange happened at the beginning of this year. The Earth's inner core stopped spinning.
What?
Now it's believed that the core started spinning again
Earth's
in a
inner core
different
just...
direction, and nobody really knows
Earth's inner core just stopped spinning?
what caused this. We can only guess.
What?
A few months later, it was determined that the Earth has an inner core of solid iron about 400 miles wide. So new discoveries are always being made, and everything we know about the inner Earth is just educated guesses. Why couldn't the Earth be hollow, or at least have enormous hollowed out spaces that could support life? Now,
I don't
skeptics have
know.
argued that you can't have life inside the Earth. The main reason, there's no water. Well, when the Kola super deep borehole was being drilled, fossilized plankton were found miles below the surface.
Hey?
Still, those are fossils, maybe millions of years old. What about now? Well, in 2014, scientists discovered water hundreds of miles below the Earth's surface.
What?
Not just a little water. They found so much water, you can fill all the Earth's oceans with it.
What?
3 times.
Whoa.
I've been lied to. Guys, this is it. Pack it up. Conspiracy hour is over. Click for conspiracies. A dead event on this channel. I've been lied to. There's no way. But if there really is that much water, then how could people live down there? I mean, I guess if there's pockets, but I don't know. My whole world's coming down. I don't know.
Most of the Earth's water is not on the surface, it's inside. This
What?
water exists between 250 and 410 miles under the surface in an area called a transition zone.
Am I a believer
Buffer layer
now?
that separates the upper from the lower mantle. Now, if there's water down there, I wonder what else could be down there. Well, in 2019, geologists from Princeton University published a study that surprised everyone.
Yeah, but it's
They
not
used
Harvard.
supercomputers to analyze seismic data from some of the largest earthquakes ever recorded, including the 8.2 magnitude quake that hit Bolivia in 1994. Earthquakes that big reverberate through the entire planet. We may not feel them, but seismographs can detect them. Analysis showed that beneath the surface of the Earth are vast plains and mountains taller than the Himalayas. All
What?
deep within the Earth. How deep? 410 miles.
I'm gonna throw up. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I don't know. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. Wait, I know so far away if sightings are common. I don't know. Too much science. I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to believe.
The same depth as where the water is found, the transition zone. So what about the entrances and holes? Well, pictures are hard to find, and they're allegedly
I need more
all
wine.
altered by NASA, which we know they do. But there are a few photos and videos out there of the poles that show something strange. These photos were taken by the SS-7 satellite in 1968. In one photograph,
I can't
the
eat
North
Hershey
Pole was
Kisses. They're
covered by
chocolate.
clouds. In another photograph, the same area had no clouds, revealing a massive hole where the pole would be. This was taken from the ISS in March of 2015.
Oh, that's
NASA
creepy.
says that's a typhoon. Fair enough. But in 1987,
I wanna go inside
the
of it.
Russian space station Mir recorded something at the North Pole that is definitely not a typhoon. What is this?
What the freak is that? We've been lied to. Pack it up. Build your pyramids. Get your tinfoil hats. Prepare. The end is coming. What is that?
The hollow Earth
This is
theory has
real!
been around for centuries. At one point in history, it was the mainstream scientific view. But is there really evidence to support the hollow Earth theory? Well, yes and no. Modern hollow Earth theory always starts with Edmund Halley. He's a famous astronomer.
I don't trust him either. Look at that face. I don't trust him either.
Some legitimacy. Halley put forth the idea because he couldn't explain why magnetic poles were moving. He figured there were shells inside the Earth that moved independently of each other. And he was almost right. During Halley's time, it wasn't yet known that the Earth's core spins, which creates the magnetic field. But he was correct that sections of the inner Earth can move independently of each other, including the core, as we only recently discovered. Mathematician Leonard Euler gets credit for pushing the hollow Earth theory in the 18th century. Now, I'm not sure how he became attached to the theory.
Okay, but didn't they also thought the Earth was flat back then, so they were just throwing everything at the wall and just seeing what sticks, right?
Evidence he ever said anything about it.
Everyone was like, oh no, the Earth is round, and then some people were like, no, the Earth is flat, and then he was like, oh, it's hollow!
The concept of Agartha as a legendary subterranean world was first mentioned in the late 19th century. French occultist and esoteric writer Alexandre Saintive introduced the idea in a book he published in 1885. And according to his writing, Agartha was a place of ancient wisdom and spiritual enlightenment. But he never found actual hard evidence that it was a real place. He actually never looked. The idea caught on with other occultists and theosophists like Madame Blavatsky, but the only evidence they provide of the hollow Earth comes from visions and telepathic communication. And I'll leave it to you to determine if that's proof enough. Most modern hollow Earth
Bringing people on YouTube, who are you talking about, huh? Who are you talking about? Huh? What are you trying to say, Sun Champ?
come from the Jules Verne novel Journey to the Center of the Earth. When this story was published in 1864, it was a phenomenon. It made Jules Verne one of the most famous authors in the world.
Wasn't that a movie?
Before there were blockbuster films, there was Jules Verne. Now, Admiral Byrd's diary describes how he flew into the hollow Earth and had a meeting with an advanced race of beings who warned him about war and nuclear weapons. And this is a common theme in science fiction in the 1950s and 1960s. Admiral Byrd's story is basically the same plot as The Day the Earth Stood Still. It just takes place in Agartha. I covered Admiral Byrd's diary in the other episode. I also explain whether the diary is real or not. Spoiler alert, it's not.
Dang!
Now, the water found inside the Earth is real. And when the discovery was made, we were clickbaited into thinking there are these vast oceans inside the Earth. And there may be, but that's not what this discovery showed. There is a massive amount of water in the Earth's mantle, but it's trapped inside rocks and minerals.
Yeah.
Hey, rocks can hold water.
Yep, lots of it. It's
Yep.
a process called mineral hydration. It's a good way to lock water in a dry environment. For
I was
example,
kind of
the
thinking
surface
about
of the
that.
moon is covered in water. The water is just embedded in the lunar soil. So the water inside the Earth is real, just not in a way that's obvious. And the mountains inside the Earth are also real, but also not how we might think. Again, we were clickbaited into thinking there are huge open spaces underground with mountain ranges.
Yeah.
You can't help but picture scenes from Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh, that looks epic! Man, the center of the Earth looks like that. I'm going vacation. This actually looks just like where I'm from. It's pretty much exactly like Underworld. Just get that sun out of there. Get out. Get out.
But that's not what they found. There are mountains of material that are denser than the material around them. It's still solid-ish material, just of different densities. The NASA video is a typhoon, and the video taken from Mir was a hoax, but you probably knew that.
Yeah.
Now, it's true there aren't a lot of satellite pictures of the poles, and there is a lot of speculation about this. The truth is, there aren't a lot of satellites there. It's not worth taking a lot of photographs of the poles because not much changes, and photos that are almost pure white are hard to analyze. Now, there are a couple of satellites in polar orbit
Now he's making
that measure
sense.
how much the ice caps are melting.
They're not.
Well, a few years ago, you could maybe make that argument, but NASA reports that Antarctica is losing around 150 billion tons of ice per year.
Yeah, but when does NASA ever tell the truth, huh?
Now, that's a fair point. But just last week, it was reported that Antarctica is experiencing a 6 Sigma event, which happens every 7.5 million years.
Oh my god!
This sounds bad.
Well, it ain't good. But assuming we're not all underwater, I'll get into that in a future episode. As for things I can explain, there are witness reports of UFOs flying into Mount Shasta.
Six Sigma
No video
event.
that I can find, but multiple witnesses have seen this, and I think they're probably telling the truth. UFOs are coming out of the ocean. We've all seen video of that. And if the aliens landed tomorrow and held a press conference where they said we're not from another planet, but we're from inside this planet, well, that would make sense to me. Scientifically speaking, that's more plausible than creating wormholes and bending space-time to travel through space. But until the aliens announce themselves, or until our government starts telling the truth, we're just not gonna know for sure.
You hear that, aliens? Show yourselves! Show yourselves! We're tired! We want answers! I know you exist! Thank you.
Sure. And there are many interesting stories about the Hollow Earth, and there's no way to cover them in one episode, so keep an eye out for more on this topic. Now, it's true we can't prove the Earth is hollow. It's also true we can't prove it's not. If you follow this channel, you know I try to find as much truth in these mysteries as I can.
Yeah.
But the real truth is, some mysteries just can't be solved. And those are my favorite.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's hollow? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that it's hollow. Put a 2 in the chat if you... Go ahead! 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's get a little loot. Tell me what you think. Gotta get going in about an hour. Have to get out with Starzu. I mean, on Charlotte's channel. 2.5 hours. So, just letting you know. What a unique take from a conspiracy theory. Can't prove it wrong. I mean, I think that one of the things about this channel is that they present it as if it's fact at first, and then they go in and here's what's up. I'm seeing a lot of 3s and numbers I didn't say. The alien video and it lacks lots of information. Oh, I haven't seen it. I don't know. I feel like all that stuff is just like a distraction. I don't know. One sec. Let me find another video for you. We can pick. I wonder what we should go over next. Channel? Okay, do you guys want to see? There's one about the moon landing. There's one about Ariel's bowl. There's one about life after death. For people that have already been imagining, it's tough to think that one holy planet has. Yeah, I think it makes more sense that that space is so big and so chaotic and so unpredictable. It makes more sense to me that there's life off of this planet. Because as lovely as humans are, it doesn't make sense to me that there's only humans here. Like we're the only ones who figured out that we can get off of our marble. Lots of marbles. And sometimes they're spilled. And I think that's all we need to accept about it. Life after death sounds... Ooh, there's one about crop circles. We have an hour left. So I think... Let's do one. Aliens and SPN.
In 1974, a group of scientists beamed a message into space. The message, meant to be received by an intelligent alien species, described life on Earth. Written in simple binary code and using the most powerful radio telescope on the planet, the message was broadcast to a dense cluster of stars in the constellation of Hercules. This exercise was just ceremonial, a way to demonstrate new technology in radio astronomy. Nobody was really expected to receive it, and even if they did, it wouldn't be anytime soon. The nearest star in the direction of the broadcast is 25,000 light years away. So the telescope was tuned to 2380 megahertz, aimed at Hercules, and fired up. The scientists congratulated each other, shook hands, and went on with their lives. But 27 years later, something very unexpected happened with that message beamed into deep space. Someone wrote back.
Someone wrote back? No way! No way!
West Virginia, boop-a-doop-boo.
Take me home, country road, country roads. Oh, this is another ad.
Camel
Damage my so
down from his tractor.
Nice.
One morning in 1966, George Pedley was working his farm in Tully,
Your
Queensland,
Jordans
Australia,
are fake.
when he heard a strange buzzing sound. He climbed down from his tractor and started walking in the direction of the sound. Then he saw a circular craft slowly rise above a section of swampland not 50 feet from where he was standing. The craft hovered for a few seconds, shot straight up into the sky, and disappeared. When George went to investigate, he found a large circle of reeds had been pulled from the swamp and flattened into a disc. The circle was 30 feet across, 2 feet thick, and arranged in a clockwise swirl. Because of the swirl and the thickness of the reeds, locals call the formation a UFO nest. But what this actually was a crop circle.
Wow.
Since the 1960s,
Damn, this looks so
thousands
cool.
of crop circles or crop formations have been found. They've been seen on every continent in almost every country on Earth.
That
But the
Pokemon?
epicenter for
Wait a second, that looks like the Pokemon symbol.
every continent in almost every country
That's Pokemon. That is Pokemon. That's Pokemon. Pyramid.
on Earth. But the epicenter for crop
Pyramid.
formations is Wiltshire in the southwest of England. Crop formations range from the very simple
Pokemon.
to the very complex. Formations can be circles, stars, and other geometric shapes, but some are pictograms, though nobody knows for sure what they mean. Though every formation is different, they have a few things in common. Recognizable patterns that are created very quickly, usually at night. The creation of these patterns is always associated with some kind of light, either a beam of light or an orb of light.
Ooh. Pokemon.
Whatever that is, that's moving outside. Oh my god.
Though crop formations seem like a new phenomenon, there's evidence they've been appearing for a long time. In the 9th century, Agartha, the Bishop of Lyon in France, wrote about parishioners who were possibly engaged in devil worship or paganism. They were collecting seeds out of flattened circles in the fields and
Hey, there's nothing wrong with work in the ground. I'm not gonna knock it. Not gonna knock it.
using them for fertility rituals. In 1686, Robert Plot, a professor at Oxford,
Why do demons always get such a bad rap? Why is everyone like, oh man, don't worship those demons. Don't like demons. What's wrong with demons? Nothing is wrong with us. We exist just like you do. Gee. Some people.
wrote about crop circles. He even drew pictures of a couple that appeared near his home. He said they were formed by a flash of light, and once they were formed, animals wouldn't go near them. Around the same time, a pamphlet was released called The Mowing Devil. It describes how a farmer woke to see a bright light in his field that he thought was fire. When he went to investigate, he found a crop circle. It's called the Mowing Devil because the farmer said the circle was so neatly mowed that it could not have been done by a mortal man.
Yeah.
John Leland served as librarian to Henry VIII. He wrote about patterns appearing in grass overnight. In 1937, a British science journal reported circles found in a field of barley and even included one of the first photos taken of a crop circle. In 1945, This photo was taken by a balloonist working for the RAF Parachute Training School. In 1952, the U.S. Air Force investigated circles found
That
in
was pretty cool.
Kansas.
Pyramids, but
In 1963, Sir Patrick Moore, an astronomer writing for the New Scientist journal, investigated a formation in Charlton.
In the wheat fields were features taking the form of circular or elliptical areas in which the wheat had been flattened. One very well defined was an oval, 15 yards long by 4.5 broad. There was evidence of spiral flattening, and in one case there was a circular area in the center in which the wheat had not been flattened.
One of the texts discovered in the Dead Sea Scrolls is the Book of Enoch. Enoch talks about lightning leaving marks on the earth. So these formations have been seen since the beginning of recorded history. Even though thousands of circles have been found, and many people claim to witness them forming, no one had ever caught it on camera until 1996.
I'm not really saying anything.
John Whaley was camping out on a hill in Wiltshire called Oliver's Castle, named for a fort that was built there many years ago. Around 3 a.m., something caught his eye. He grabbed
What
his
caught
video
his
camera
eye?
and captured footage of several glowing orbs hovering over a field. Then,
Aliens! Aliens! Wait! Where's our aliens photo?
like magic,
Whoa!
Whoa!
here's the formation from the air. Nobody can agree on what crop circles mean, though most people believe they're messages. Now, this is frustrating to many researchers. They say, whoever's making these, why don't they just speak English? Well, in 2001, they did.
What did they say?
Intelligently controlled.
What? There he is!
You see, the object came down and it stopped for a long.
Aliens! Ah, Kale. Are they always perfectly done?
Nothing random about it. There's no movement in the prevailing wind.
That's crazy. He's got a speck on his camera. I understand. I understand completely. His dad did send him to the moon, you're right.
In 1974, the Arecibo message was sent from Earth to a cluster of stars in the Hercules constellation. It's called the Arecibo message because that was the name of the giant radio telescope used to transmit it. The team that created the message was led by Dr. Frank Drake, with assistance from Carl Sagan. The message was 1,679 binary digits that could be converted to an image, designed to convey information about civilization on Earth. It starts with a representation of the numbers 1 through 10. This provides a key to the rest of the message. Next, atomic numbers of hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and phosphorus,
What?
which are used to make up DNA. Carbon is at the top because it's the most dominant in forms of life. The message shows more information about DNA, including the double helix structure. Toward the bottom, a figure of a human, its average height, and the population of the Earth, which was a little over 4 billion at the time. Next, our solar system, starting with the sun and moving out to Pluto. The Earth is shifted up to identify the planet sending the signal.
You already lost me.
At the bottom, a graph.
My brain is not. Because we had. It's not working to process this.
representing the Arecibo radio
What?
telescope. Now, the nearest star that could possibly receive the message is 25,000 light years away. So we couldn't really expect a reply for another 50,000 years. But on the morning of August 14th, 2001, a formation was discovered right next to the Chilbolton radio telescope. Now, even if you don't know the full design, when you're on the ground, you can tell you're in a crop circle. There's structure and uniformity to it. But this new formation was different. It was a mess. It wasn't symmetrical. Nobody could make sense of it until it was viewed from the air.
Holy
a face. And 3 days later...
I'm sorry, wait. Oh, there's the face. I was like, a face?
Air.
I didn't see a face at first. I was like, why are these flat and these are not flat?
Holy
a face.
Even there, I'm like, I don't see a face.
And 3 days later...
It was only here that I could see the... See? Here? I was like, oh, there's the face.
Appeared. This became known as the Arecibo answer.
Ay, Chihuahua!
Whoa!
The formation uses the same 23 by 73 grid. The top line shows the numbers 1 through 10, just like the original, but the reply shows silicon as the main element for life, not carbon.
What? That's crazy.
Their DNA is shown as having a third string.
Picklefish.
In the center is a humanoid figure about 4 feet tall with a large head, and their population is about 21 billion.
21 billion? Like almost 4 times, wait, almost 6 times ours?
Here is their solar system. They appear to occupy 3 objects in the system, the 3rd and 4th planets, and then there's another shape that could mean a planet or some other object or structure.
Aliens!
On the human Arecibo message is a picture of the radio telescope, which was used to send the message. Whoever sent the reply seems to understand this. So what is this design meant to represent? Well, just a year earlier, this formation appeared in the same place. Is this the same object? Is this crop formation a representation of a machine used to communicate through space?
He said that at the time this message was sent, we had 4 billion people. Right? You rewind, I'm pretty sure that's what he said, which is why I said 6 times.
Space? Again, frustrated researchers and skeptics agree on something. Why don't they just speak English? Well, almost exactly 1 year later, this formation appeared.
Pokeball!
brain. My
Pokeball! Alien. Creepy.
brain just exploded.
Once again, we see a face.
Yeah, I was talking about the
That's
time
not
of the
a human
message.
face. And just like the Arecibo message was broadcast in binary code, the disk formation also contains binary code. And for the first time, we get an actual literal message.
That's
The
so
code was
creepy.
translated to letters using ASCII, the encoding standard for electronic
This
communication.
video is way better.
Beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. Much pain, but still time. Believe. There is good out there. We oppose deception.
What? What?
Whoever it is that wants to communicate with
Oh
us
my
is
gosh!
using many different means. In 2004, Robert Ridge was deer hunting a few miles outside
I
of
just want to say, how
Roswell.
do you look at that and think, oh, maybe there's a binary? That's insane. I would never be able to guess that or figure that out. Like, I would never be able to guess that.
Mexico. Half buried in the dirt, he found a strange rock. On the rock is a geometric carving. Robert grabbed it and didn't think it was anything more than a cool rock someone lost at some point. But he didn't keep it a secret. He showed it to friends and anyone who was curious about it. It didn't take long before strange discoveries were made about the rock. For one, it's magnetized lodestone, which is not a kind of rock found in that area. And under a microscope, the Roswell rock is extremely smooth. There's no carving marks or indication of sandblasting. But the most fascinating discovery is that in 1996, 8 years before the Roswell rock was found, this crop formation appeared. The designs match up. Some people think this design is a message. Others think it's a map. Still,
Map
others
to
think
where?
the Roswell rock, the Arecibo answer, and all crop circles are nothing but a hoax. But who would create such elaborate hoaxes?
Who? Yeah, who would do that? You know, I don't know. Like, maybe going back to that design, it looks like... Are they saying, like, there's 2 moons separating us or something? I don't know.
Is a
What do you guys
message.
think?
Others think it's a map.
Back to your
Still,
mama!
others think the Roswell
Moon
rock,
phases,
the
oh.
Arecibo answer, and all crop circles are nothing but a hoax. But who would create
Demons!
such elaborate hoaxes, and why? Well, in 1991, we would get the answer when a British newspaper ran a front-page story with the headline, "The Men Who Con the World."
Oh no.
Map to
On September
Agartha?
9th, 1991,
No
two
random
retirees
moons.
in their 60s
No random moons.
confessed to starting the crop circle phenomenon in 1978. Doug Bauer said the idea came to him one night in a pub. He was living in Queensland in 1966 when the Tully UFO left behind that circle of reeds. Doug thought it would be fun to trick people into thinking UFOs were landing in wheat fields in southern England. He enlisted the help of his friend Dave Chorley. All they needed to make a crop circle was a wood plank, a bit of rope, and a twisted piece of wire. At first, their designs were simple and crude, but over time they became more and more complex.
And you could center this through this ring, walk straight towards it, and lo and behold, you got the lovely straight line that you could wish for.
International media picked up the story, and the mystery was solved. Crop circles were nothing more than a couple of amiable old fellows playing a prank, and that was that.
That's it? End of story? It's kind of disappointing.
Or is that what they want you to think? Is that what they want you to think? They want us to think, oh, it's just two cute old men. Just two cute old men doing this. No. No. I refuse. This is what they want us to think. Open your eyes, sheeple. Open your eyes. They put that in there on purpose. They're plants.
Oh, we're just getting started.
Oh, go on.
Doug and Dave might have created a few crop circles, but their story has a lot of holes.
It's just a prank, bro.
They demonstrated their circle-making technique, and the results were janky. Most crop formations, even back then, were much more precise. Doug and Dave's formations were out of alignment every time. The more complicated the design, the worse the formations were. During one demonstration for a news crew, Doug attempted to reproduce one of his circles and accidentally made it twice as big as it should have been. Then he just gave up on making it. And their story changed over time. They said they started making circles in 1976. Then it was 1975. Then it was
it's just a fun channel. I mean, don't take it too seriously. Don't take my stream too seriously. Just watching, he's just talking about crazy theories that exist and going over the evidence, lack of evidence. Hecklefish is just there for comic relief.
In fact, they never could agree on the year they actually started. Now, they claim to have created certain circles and then later said they didn't, but they helped people who did. And Doug and Dave said they created this famous crop circle in 1983 called the Cheesefoot Head Circle. Doug showed a diagram of it. It had no disturbances of any kind. When asked how they created the circle without making tracks in the crop, Doug said they pole vaulted into the field.
Whoa. Did you just say pole vaulted?
They're
older, in an interview,
older men.
You should have seen us running through the fields with our sticks, sailing over the corn.
Yeah, I would like to see that, actually.
Oh, me too, pal. Apparently, these men, in their 60s, pole vaulted into fields carrying their wood boards. They laid down a perfect crop formation and pole vaulted
my
out
gosh.
again. Now, Doug looks
There's
pretty
no
fit for an
way.
older guy, but he's getting winded walking in a circle. Pole vaulting seems a little outside of his athletic range. They also added details to their story as other crop circles were found. One day, a couple of people investigating a circle told Doug they were looking for a jelly-like substance that was found in a formation. Doug told them it was probably waste ejected from a plane. Later, Doug had a story about making a crop circle, and while he was doing it, he got hit in the head with a piece of frozen waste ejected from a plane's toilet.
And they call those throwing bombs.
Right.
Yeah, big old frozen chunk of poopy.
He stumbled back to his car, dazed, with blood trickling down his face. The problem is, planes don't dump waste over that area. It would be illegal, dangerous, and disgusting. Another story came out about people finding bits of metal thought to be meteorites at crop formations. Soon after that, Doug and Dave's crop circles had little bits of iron scattered all around.
Dude, okay, I don't care how old you are. So don't create some conspiracy or pretend that you did this. Either aliens did it or you did. You didn't really do it. Why are you lying for attention? Don't do it. Just be normal. Just be normal.
So, a few things. Did Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley create some crop circles? Yes. When Doug and Dave came forward, about 1,500 crop circles, but they inspired a lot of copycats. Soon, most crop formations were man-made. So, is there a scientific way to tell if a crop circle is not a hoax, but genuine? There is.
I don't like it. I want to know if aliens are real. Stop impeding upon my conspiracy.
And there are telltale signs of this. Sometimes spotting a man-made crop circle is as simple as finding a footpath through the field leading up to the design. but often crop formations intersect the lines made by tractors called tram lines, which can hide tracks. To spot a hoax, we look at the plants themselves. Man-made crop circles done by flattening plants with boards are destructive.
What views? This was in the
You'll see
80s.
cracks and bruises on the stalks. On the ground, the crushed plants look messy. The leaves and flowers will be mashed to the ground. Marks will be visible on only one side of the plant where it was stomped by a plank of wood. Many of those marks are creases where you can actually bend the stalk. Genuine crop circles don't look like this at all. First, the lay of the pattern will flow like water. There's a gentle
Take notes on this, okay? Take notes. Because we're gonna go hunting.
to it and elegance. And many times the stalks are layered and even braided. In genuine crop circles, most plants aren't damaged. They'll continue to grow horizontally and then after a few days return to their vertical position. In this formation found in May 2005, the flowers weren't damaged at all. They were somehow laid down gently.
What? Aliens.
A group of clumsy men with wooden boards couldn't do this. We know this because it was tried. A group of crop circle makers attempted to reproduce this formation. From the air, it looks pretty good. But on the ground, the man-made version is a mess. The plants are trashed. A formation in 2003 was especially puzzling. In parts of the design, the plants weren't completely flattened. They were bent a few inches from the top. It's been described as like the grooves of a record. How do you make this with planks and rope?
You don't.
You don't. Another sign of a genuine circle can be seen, especially in wheat. In late summer, when wheat turns gold, the kernels become heavy and bend over from the weight. They also become stiff and are impossible
Are you
to
taking
straighten.
notes? Make sure you
But
take
the wheat
notes.
within a crop circle, the kernels have straightened out and can't be bent. So what would do this? Radiation. Wheat stalks are separated by structures called apical nodes. These are like the knuckles on your fingers. In the 1990s, biophysicist William Levengood started analyzing plants taken from crop circles. His team found the nodes in crop circle wheat were elongated, and in many cases they were ruptured.
Oh, a rupture on an elongated node? I think they make a cream for that.
This rupture is called an expulsion cavity. The only way this could be replicated is with bursts of microwave radiation. The way your microwave oven works is it heats up water, fats, and sugar in food. Microwave energy is heating up the water in the wheat stalk nodes. The water turns to steam and then they burst, just like popcorn. Now you can't fake this. It happens to the plant internally.
There's no way you could hoax that.
Really?
People who claim to have witnessed crop circles being made, and there's quite a few witnesses, report seeing a mist over the pattern immediately after it's formed. This mist is actually steam coming from the plants that were flash heated by microwave radiation. While experimenting with radiation, Levengood found crop circle seed had a huge increase in growth compared to non-crop circle seed. By exposing seeds to short, controlled bursts of radiation, they grow bigger and faster than seeds not exposed
So they
to
have radiation on
Another
them.
experiment showed that wheat harvested from within a crop circle has a much higher amount of protein than wheat outside the circle. So there's evidence that whatever energy is used to create crop formations is leaving residual traces of this energy in the area. Some crop formations are covered in a dusting of microscopic spheres of magnetized iron, specifically meteorite iron. Researchers call this a magnetic glaze. These spheres are usually found around the perimeter of a formation, and they're distributed linearly, not randomly. Because the iron particles are magnetized perfect spheres, it means they were melted and formed within a highly energetic magnetic field. When people are inside crop formations, many are affected by electromagnetic radiation. Just look at this.
What is it? Oh, their hands? Are their hands blotty? Whoa! Whoa! That's crazy!
As part of an experiment, a woman with an enlarged thyroid sat in a crop formation for 2.5 hours. While being monitored by a doctor, her thyroid shrunk by 40%. Often cameras, watches, and other electronic devices stop working inside a crop circle. In fact, pregnant women and people with pacemakers are discouraged from going near one. To skeptics, all this talk about energy sounds woo-woo, but I just showed you the real effects on plants and people. Now, it's fair to say that the elongated nodes and growth rates of
I don't know. The hands. I don't think that was something you.
wheat could be a coincidence. It's also fair to say that the physical reactions experienced by people could be psychosomatic, all in their minds. But skeptics, how do you explain this? These are called ghost formations, or ghost zones. This is when the design of a crop formation is still visible after the field has been plowed. Sometimes a ghost formation remains through the following season. Sometimes it remains for 2 years before finally fading.
Oh my god.
But this doesn't happen with all crop formations. Nobody knows why, but it could have something to do with where the patterns are found. A study was done in the early 2000s of all the crop circles in southern England.
I want to go to a crop circle. Will you guys? Can we crop circles together? That'll be our conspiracy issue next week. Go on a conspiracy crop circle. So much.
They showed that 98% of all non-man-made formations were over chalk aquifers. And by the way, chalk aquifers can be used for generating electricity. Everything keeps pointing back to electromagnetism.
You got donations. Oh, did we crash? Anna, thank you for the donation. Thank you. Got there with the cute girls right here. Thank you.
If there's an episode...
Sorry, we crashed. I don't know why. Sorry for the 100 of you. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Center for crop formations in southern England, it's Silbury Hill. Silbury Hill was built thousands of years ago. It's 129 feet tall and covers an area of about 5 acres. Nobody agrees on what it was originally used for, but every year crop formations appear near it, sometimes right next to it. And by the way, the whole thing is one giant pile of chalk. Not far from Silbury Hill is Stonehenge.
Brass
Crop circles appear
pyramid!
there too. One of the most famous of these is called the Stonehenge Surprise. On Sunday, July 7th, 1996,
yeah, it was the
this
government.
formation appeared mere feet from Stonehenge. It's been called one of the most complex and spectacular crop circle designs ever seen.
Wow.
The design is a Julius set, a type of
Is that Ebby? It's a shrimp! It's Ebby!
fractal. Fractals are visual representations of mathematic formulas that repeat themselves at different scales. Zoom way in or way out, the pattern is the same. Look at how close Stonehenge is to the formation. Look at the visibility. Stonehenge has 24-hour security.
Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie, hearing Stonehenge makes me want to play Sim 6. It makes me want to play Sim 6 so bad. I want to play Sim 6 so bad.
Nothing unusual the night before. Crop formations also appear near Avebury, which is in the same area. The Avebury henge is massive, twice the size of Stonehenge. Now, a ley line is believed to be an invisible
ley line?
path
We
or
learned that
energy
last time.
line that connects sacred
See
sites.
all the pyramids? That one's super. No, these two. These two make up this big one. And then that makes up this big one.
Ley lines are thought to create a network of energy across the Earth, influencing the flow of energy and
Welcome back,
aligning with
everybody. I don't know what
cosmic
happened.
forces.
I didn't
The
do
area
anything.
around Stonehenge is on one of those ley lines.
Sorry,
If
there's now
crop
40 of us
formations are an
here.
attempt at communication, they're
That's so frustrating. It's like, oh, 100 people are here watching. Oh wow, I'm really happy that everyone's here and watching and enjoying. Boom! Now you have 30 people. Those people are never coming back. Like, why, YouTube? Why? Literally nothing crashed. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
clearly using mathematic concepts, and this would make sense. Math is a universal language. But what do the messages mean? What story do they tell? Are crop formations proof of space travel?
I'm
Do they
glad you're
offer an
still
explanation
here.
for space travel? Are crop formations a map? Are they blueprints for a machine? Well, the answer to all those questions...
1 sec. Okay. I reset it, so hit refresh if you haven't yet. But I don't know what's going on, so we reset it.
Is yes. Over the years, crop formations got more and more complex. What started out as simple circles became patterns like this. This is the famous Milk Hill Galaxy spiral found in 2001. The spiral consists of 409 perfect circles, 1,000 feet across, spread over 700,000 square feet. And look at how clean the design is. That's not even flat ground. This formation is a hard one for skeptics to deal with. Remember, England is pretty far north. In the summer, the days are very, very long. The night the spiral was made, there was only about 4 hours of darkness. It would take a huge crew of people to lay down this pattern in 4 hours. And by the way, it was raining the night it appeared. You'd think the field would be full of muddy footprints by the army of hoaxers it would take to make this. But nope, the Milk Hill spiral is pristine. Fractals are a common theme with crop formations. Geometric shapes and other expressions of mathematic functions are also quite common. Even complex math problems are expressed. Squaring the circle is a problem in geometry first proposed in Greek mathematics. Squaring the circle involves using a compass and a ruler to create a square and circle with the same area. Now, this has been proven impossible, since calculating the area of a circle requires using pi. And if you remember your math lessons, pi is an irrational number.
Yeah, I'm exposing the truth.
Be exact. So you can never get the area of a circle to equal the area of a square. But there are methods that allow you to get close. And these methods have been seen in crop formations for years. Crop formations often use other mathematic concepts, like the golden ratio and Fibonacci numbers. Here's a formation that, when it appeared, people found very confusing. Then a mathematician solved it. It's a representation of pi out to 10 decimal places. The lengths of the arcs represent each digit. There's even a decimal point and
Never trust people who do math for fun. Who has a math passion? Who wakes up and is like, wow, I can't wait to do math. Oh! 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 I don't trust it! There's no way! Your sister? Don't trust your sister. She's a clone. The clone. She's not who you think.
An indication that the number continues forever. But there are also designs that, at first glance, look like geometry, but not exactly right. That's when some researchers had the idea to stop looking and start listening. This particular circle resembles
I have to have a
what's
strong
called a
talk with
cymatic
Ollie.
pattern. A cymatic pattern is a shape that forms when sound waves
likes
bother
math?
a material like water or sand. Ernst Chladni was a German physicist and musician who documented cymatic patterns. He proved that different sound frequencies create different patterns, and these patterns...
This is how they made the intro to the Rings of Power, that terrible Lord of the Rings show that's not canon no matter what they say. This is how they made that intro. Remember how it all goes like... It bounces around and stuff? That's how.
Patterns could be predicted.
Yeah, see, and then it turned it into the Rings of Power logo.
Repeated. Could the builder of this crop circle be telling us that this sound frequency...
I can't believe Ollie loves math. I cannot believe that zombie.
Well, let's look for more clues. In
2011,
2011,
awesome, right? You liked Rings of Power? I cannot. We're not talking about it. We're not talking about it.
The location of another ancient site. The same day, another double spiral appeared near Stonehenge, just a few miles away. Dr. Jerry Croft thought these formations could represent neutron stars. And although it's very rare, sometimes neutron stars collide and form.
You did trigonometry stream? I'm totally calling her out. I'm gonna message her after stream and be like, Ollie, my chat tells me you do math. Why? Right now, I'm trying to convince her to play Baldur's Gate 3 off stream. I'm trying to get her to play Baldur's Gate 3 off stream. And I'm trying to talk to Lily about it.
What makes magnetars unique is their incredibly strong magnetic fields, which are among the strongest known in the universe. These magnetic fields are thousands to billions of times.
Naki! Thank you so much for the raid. Arigato! Minasan! Welcome! Minasan yokoso! Welcome so much to my stream! I hope you brought tinfoil hats. I hope you brought your tinfoil hats because things are getting sus in here. It's getting sus in here. What's that smell? Conspiracy. Pyramids. Aliens. We have it all. We have it all. Always rang yours? Good, good. Welcome, Raiders. Hi, Naki. I love you. You're doing good. I messaged you yesterday. I hope you're doing good. I sent you a demon. Please respond. Naki. Please. Please respond, Naki. I don't even know if she's here. I think she tipped. Let's go back to our video. We'll be talking about. So if you just got here, we're talking about crop circles and whether or not they're legitimate or not. I am inclined to believe they are, but some are also fake. So that's what we're talking about, as well as the Hollow Earth theory, which you just missed about 40 minutes ago.
Times stronger than those of neutron.
Did you sleep? Oh, okay. That's
stars. A magnetar's
shut up, Kevin. They're real.
gravity is so strong that it dramatically warps space-time around it. In theory, this warping of space-time could lead to an Einstein-Rosen bridge, better known as a wormhole. A wormhole, again in theory, can connect two very distant points.
Yeah, some people were faking them, but some were also real. How dare you cheat? You hunting on your fries. You hunting on your fries.
In space, essentially creating a shortcut that allows you to travel to a location faster than light could get there in a straight line. Now, I'm aware this is a lot of in theory and possibly and maybe regarding these crop formations. After all, magnetars are so rare that in the entire galaxy, only 10 have ever been found. Well, 11.
10 wormholes?
Because the following day, literally the day after these crop formations appeared, a new magnetar appeared. I don't mean it was always there and was just discovered. I mean it wasn't there yesterday, and it's there today.
Aliens! Aliens!
Then in 2022, this crop formation appears. Two sections of concentric rings connected by a line. It's been theorized that this represents a wormhole. It shows 2 points in space surrounded by warped space-time and then a portal between. The outer ring represents the bending of space-time. Now maybe this crop formation is just a design with no special meaning, but that would be rare. Almost all crop formations have a message or purpose. So let's assume for fun that all these messages are puzzle pieces. That when the pieces are put together, they show proof of a wormhole and a map of how to get to it. But how? How do we do that? Well, that's the question that electrical engineer Nikola Romansky asked.
He's pondering so hard. That's me! Oh my god, don't face reveal me! You have it all!
Nikola saw this image of a crop circle that seemed to be meaningless. It didn't have a recognizable geometry. It wasn't symmetrical. But Nikola had an idea. He brought the shape into his 3D software and extruded it around the center axis.
Who is doing it? Who thinks to do this? I know you can't. Okay, I know you can't see my hands right now, but I'm just shaking. Who thinks to do this? I was like, yeah, let me just put this in my 3D program. Who? I'm sorry. That's insane to me.
To make a shape. So Nikola found more crop formations and did the same thing.
Who's doing
this? He rotated
this?
the designs around a central axis to create their shapes in 3D. And after a while, he had a...
That looks like what's the name of Solo's? The Millennial Falcon. That looks like the Millennial Falcon. That's just the Millennial Falcon.
Create their shapes in 3D. And after a while, he had a collection of what appeared to be blueprints, instructions on how to create some kind of machine.
So what did he do?
Well, what do you think he did? He built it.
Millennium Falcon?
Nikola Romansky reached out to filmmaker Charles Maxwell and asked for help. Maxwell was working on a documentary about crop circles. Nikola needed help and funding to build his machine.
Millennium Falcon!
He thought was a vehicle that ran on zero-point energy, could alter gravity, and reach light speed. How can you not build it? So they enlisted 3D designers and machinists.
Wait, what did I say? What did I say? I said Millennium. That's That's what I said. That's what I said. What did you say? What did you say? You're the one who got it wrong, not me.
They hired electricians
No,
and
I
fabricators.
didn't. No, I
It took
didn't.
over 3 years, and they finally had their prototype. It didn't work.
No, I
Well, they
didn't.
got some plasma to ignite, but they ran out of money. The entire process is in the documentary, which I linked below. The truth is, whatever they were building probably wasn't going to work. But it's possible that Nicola was onto something. But the secret to zero-point energy, gravity, and space-time all comes down to one thing: spin. Whenever government whistleblowers describe reverse engineering UFOs, spin is always a core piece of the technology. According to Mark McCandlish, a former aerospace designer, UFO anti-gravity
Wait a second, that looked like a face. That face looked like when I...
Nazi bell-shaped UFO de Glocka was said to use similar technology. Bob Lazar talked about studying element 115 when he worked at Area 51.
Apparently that's a thing now that we know, but we didn't know it before.
E-115 is said to power alien spacecraft. And when Lazar made those claims in the 1980s,
No, I said millennium.
But in 2003, E-115 was discovered. A whistleblower came forward just a few weeks ago. He claims to have been a military contractor working on reverse engineering UFOs. He said their engines use counter-rotating cylinders with element 115 as the power source. Russian physicist...
What if the zombies are aliens? What if the zombies are aliens? Open your eyes, sheeple. Hey, look, I'm becoming shrill. Oh my gosh. It's like I can hear my voice. It's like, "Ah!" Like when it gets like that, I'm like, oh, Reina, please get it together. Open your eyes, sheeple.
Nikolai Kosarev believed the twisting and spinning of space-time called torsion was the secret to unlocking gravity and unlocking everything. In 2019, an engineer working for the US Navy filed a patent for a plasma compression fusion device. This is a machine that can generate a tremendous amount of power, like terawatts of power in a small package. The device is about the size of a car, but can put out as much energy as a nuclear power plant. If it's real, the energy is clean and unlimited. His invention is based on spin. The scientist is Salvatore Pais, and he currently works for the US Space Force. He's filed quite a few interesting patents on behalf of the United States government. Propulsion engines, room temperature superconductors, inertial mass reduction devices, and high-frequency gravitational wave generators. This may sound like science fiction, but the US military is taking these patents very seriously. Every single one of them is based on spin. Now, I don't know if it's irony or poetic justice, but it could turn out that nature's most mysterious secrets like gravity won't be discovered in a lab. It's possible that unlocking the secrets of nature might be done in a field of wheat.
I'm making that message. If you get kicked from this stream,
a controversial subject.
Right.
The history of the crop circle community, if that's what you want to call it,
You
is
too?
filled with intrigue, lies, and double crosses. Today, if you bring up crop circles in any mainstream venue, you'll get eye rolls and laughter. But that wasn't always the case. At one time, crop formations were taken seriously by the media, the government, and the general population. A new type of science emerged called cerealogy, named for Ceres, the goddess of agriculture and grain crops. Journals were created. Articles about crop formations were mainstream.
go.
Nick Pope spent over 20 years investigating UFOs for the British Ministry of Defense. He said the army started investigating crop circles in 1985. Then glyphs started to appear in southern England in 1989, and crop formations were becoming complex. There seemed to be an intelligence at work. Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher asked her cabinet to find out what the hell was going on. The following summer, Operation Blackbird was launched. Blackbird was a 3-week surveillance operation with the goal of filming a crop circle forming in real time. The project was planned by prominent crop circle researchers Colin Andrews and Pat Delgado. It was sponsored by the BBC and Japanese national television. Not only did the project have the blessing of the British government, but the crops to be filmed were on land owned by the Ministry of Defense. By working with the MOD,
you're absolutely right. It's a conspiracy.
Acres of farmland could be cordoned off to keep out hoaxers and prevent any genuine crop circles from being trampled by a curious and excited public. The military had every inch of the field covered with cameras. They had night vision and even infrared cameras to detect body heat. If a circle was going to form, it would definitely be seen. This was a huge event. Millions of people around the world watched. And every day, Colin Andrews would appear on TV and describe the day's events. On day 2, a crop circle appeared, and Colin Andrews went on television and spoke very enthusiastically about the discovery. And then everything came crashing down.
No, Colin,
the formation
no!
was a hoax. Not just a hoax, but an embarrassing one. The design was crude, and placed in the center of the circle was an astrology board game. Colin Andrews, a serious investigator and the face of the crop circle phenomenon, was humiliated.
Somebody's had a laugh, they've had a joke, they've actually done none
They did it on purpose.
of us any good, that sets these sort of things, only set the research back.
In the span of an afternoon, the field of crop circle research went from mainstream science to fringe theory, and it's been there ever since.
Oh, Carl, no!
The whole thing blocked off and covered with cameras. How come they didn't see nothing? It was a setup.
It was a setup.
Yeah.
Well, allegedly.
Totally a setup.
Colin Andrews believes, and I think there's plenty of evidence to support his theory, that the army intentionally wanted to discredit him and the entire crop circle phenomenon. That doesn't mean the military
Dang
didn't
army.
believe in crop formations. Quite the opposite. At the same exact time the highly public Operation Blackbird was going on, the army was running a secret surveillance operation a few miles away on Silbury Hill.
Wait.
In fact,
Wait.
they allegedly...
Wait. I just imagine this one alien. Let's say it's like this one alien. It's like this rogue alien. He was like, whatever, Mom. Whatever, Dad. I'm gonna go and make my... What if this is just alien graffiti done by teenage aliens? Is that something? Is that something? You know? It's just teenage aliens having a little rebellious streak. And the government's just trying to get a handle on it. They're like, listen, Timmy, gotta stop making those crop circles. And then Timmy's like, no, I'm expressing myself. What if that's all this is? Rebellious teenage aliens just trying to make their mark on the world and succeeding.
flying over the fields just to the south of the hill. But this operation only became known later. It appears that Blackbird was sleight of hand. Get the public focused on Blackbird, while the real operation took place a few miles away. Even now, when crop circles or glowing orbs appear, it's not uncommon for military helicopters to show up. Not only do the helicopters patrol the area, but they'll also chase the orbs around the countryside. Clearly, the military believes that crop formations are something more than simple hoaxes. But after the Blackbird fiasco, none of this mattered. Crop circles were debunked, and Colin Andrews became a fringe character. Colin's partner, Pat Delgado, was so disheartened by the Blackbird hoax that he retired and gave up his research.
Sounds like Deep State wins again, eh?
But that's not the end of the story.
Go on.
Colin Andrews may have become fringe in the public's eye, but he was a serious investigator, and crop circles were a real phenomenon. Even without mainstream support, he continued his work, and plenty of people supported him. Believers in crop circles were now fringe believers, but they still believed. This could be a problem for the government. They couldn't allow crop circles back into the mainstream, so British intelligence began a disinformation campaign, and to help them spread disinformation, they brought in the best.
CIA.
CIA.
Not the CIA!
In his 1999 book, Cosmic Top Secret, The Unseen Agenda, author John King got Colin Andrews to sit for an interview. Colin knew that the only way hoaxers could get onto that field during Blackbird was if it was an inside job. When Colin made the announcement that a crop circle appeared, he hadn't even seen it yet. It was pitch black. He was pressured to make the announcement, so he did. He didn't report what he had seen with his own eyes. He reported what was described to him by the army. As soon as the sun came up, he knew it was a hoax, but there was nothing he could do. He had to deal with
Oh
the
my gosh, he was really
military, that they would
pressured?
provide people, equipment, and land.
Can't believe he
but
was so
had to
pressured.
cooperate with them.
Big mistake. You shake hands with the military-industrial complex, you're making a deal with the devil.
Yep. According to Colin, phase 1 of the disinformation campaign was to debunk crop circles with Operation Blackbird. Phase 2 was Doug and Dave, who showed up a year later. Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley admitted to being the makers of crop circles, and to this day, that's the...
Okay, just so we know, I checked my just now. Even my internet is very good. So I don't know why we're dropping frames. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I don't have anything running and I have no applications going on. So I'm sorry if you keep getting dropped, but please don't leave. Please stick around. Don't give up on your demon. We're gonna be closing out here in 15 anyway, so I can go get ready with Charlotte. But I just want you guys know, oftentimes I have technical issues. This is not me. I don't know what's going on.
Colin doesn't think they're part of the intelligence community, but he believes they were used by and compensated by people in the IC.
They were paid?
Oh yeah, they were paid thousands of dollars for their story. We know this for a fact because they were only paid half up front. They had to sue for the other half.
Deal with the devil.
Next came phase 3. A freelance journalist named Jim Schnabel arrived on the scene. According to Colin Andrews, Schnabel was CIA. Now, James Schnabel was not an official CIA officer, but he certainly could have been an agent. If you search his name in the CIA database, you'll get plenty of hits. And Schnabel's name is always connected to paranormal cases like crop circles and remote viewing. Anyway, Schnabel was conducting private interviews with everyone involved with Blackbird and with other crop circle researchers. He was driving wedges between people, misquoting them, and pushing the narrative that crop circles were debunked. Colin Andrews became convinced of Schnabel's CIA involvement during a spooky conversation. Schnabel had recorded and read to Colin the details of private conversations Colin had one evening while sitting in his car, alone. And Colin Andrews has other evidence that he was being bugged and surveilled. It has to do a lot with invoices and stuff, and I'll link below if you want the specifics.
He literally has the receipts.
He has the receipts. And look, it's very, very common for the CIA to use journalists as assets. More common than people think. People talk to journalists, so they're useful at collecting intel. And people listen to journalists, so they're great at spreading disinformation. You may have heard about Operation Mockingbird. This was a project where over 400 American journalists were working as direct assets for the CIA. Carl Bernstein exposed how at least 10 journalists and editors at the New York Times were CIA operatives for years. And this is still happening right now, and I can prove it. But covering that and Operation Mockingbird is a full episode. And if you'd like to hear the whole story, let me know in the comments. Now, whatever your favorite newspaper is or your favorite news channel is, assume 10% of editors, reporters, and media personalities are working for the CIA
Thank
or
you guys for
FBI
coming back.
in some capacity. Yes, it's that many.
JFK warned us this would happen.
He certainly did. Colin Andrews remembers a direct approach from a CIA operative. He met a man who claimed to have seen a crop circle being formed while he was out one night studying foxes.
Oh, sexy broads.
No, actual foxes.
Ah.
The man used this story as a way of being accepted in the crop circle scene. People got used to seeing him around. Well, a few weeks later, this man knocks on Colin's door.
Are we still dropping? Still dropping? I sent a message to management to see if they can reach out to YouTube about it, because this is getting, it's like it's not me. Like, I literally am not doing anything. And it gets so frustrating after like a week of this happening. I just don't understand why this is happening, and I'm so sorry, because you choose to spend your time here with me, and I want to make sure that that's honored and that you guys can hang out with me. We can just enjoy some stupid conspiracies together. But this conspiracy of YouTube being a butt isn't fun.
They go for a walk, and the man asks Colin tons of questions about crop circles, their locations, what he thinks they are, and on and on. But Colin started to get annoyed when the man was asking if he knew if the Russians were involved. At the end of their talk, the man tells Colin, "You're one of us now."
I said, what do you mean? And he said, and this sounds even funny coming out of my mouth, but he said, CIA.
The man told Colin that there was a large amount of money waiting for him in a Swiss bank account. All he had to do was state publicly that crop circles were a hoax. Colin could go on researching circles all he wanted. The CIA would help him become the #1 crop circle expert in the world. They would give him special equipment. They would give him a staff. They would give him a budget. But when he came across a real crop formation, he was to call this man and nobody else. Colin Andrews passed on this offer.
Thank you.
But the man harassed him with phone calls for a while after that. Soon the calls became so threatening that Colin contacted the British Ministry of Defense. But they said there was nothing they could do.
What?
Well, they said it was out of their jurisdiction.
Oh, was he in England?
Yep.
That is a bunch of bull.
Yeah, Colin was annoyed. But after a short time, the call stopped. Eventually, Colin Andrews moved to the US. And here he was approached by a Pentagon analyst who introduced him to a writer named Rosemary Ellen Guiley. You might know her name from her many appearances on the Coast to Coast radio show. She wrote 49 books and even hosted her own radio show all about the paranormal. Colin said Rosemary went to, in his words, every extreme to try and convince him to co-author a book with her. And she wanted to work on the book in his office, which would give her access to Colin Andrews' entire database on crop circles going back 30 years. She was persistent, but he turned her down. Colin is convinced, without a doubt, that Rosemary Guiley was a CIA asset. Again, Rosemary Guiley was the perfect candidate for an intelligence asset, especially since she was a regular guest on Coast to Coast, where she would be heard by millions of people. She would be allowed to continue her work in any way she wanted, but from time to time, she would be instructed to disseminate information provided by the intelligence community. It's more common than you think. So
That's
yeah,
insane.
Rosemary Guiley was the perfect asset.
I can't help but notice you're speaking about her in the past tense.
Yeah, she died in 2019 at the age of 69.
Yeah, that's kind of young to die, isn't it?
Isn't it? There's another Crop Circles character with an interesting
Yeah,
story.
is it? I don't know. For
John
humans,
Lundberg
I
is
don't
an
know.
English artist and documentary filmmaker who founded the website circlemakers.org in the early 90s. He's responsible
Shut up,
or
Kitty!
claims to be responsible for some of the more
Shut
elaborate
up,
crop
you guys!
formations that
You
have been
can't
found over the
say
years.
that!
On the Circle
You
Makers
can't
website, which is
say
still around,
that!
there are links to the many crop formations that the group takes credit for. There's no doubt that the Circle Makers created complicated and often very beautiful crop formations.
that!
But crop circle
Stop!
researchers Robert Hulse and David A. Caton think there's more to John than meets the eye.
But in our opinion,
You're
the
awful.
whole Circle Makers website and Lundberg and co. are all part of a disinformation campaign, possibly funded by government.
Robert Hulse said at one time, the Circle Makers website had a recruiting link that took you directly to the recruitment page for MI5, British military intelligence. Hulse believes that the Circle Makers group is funded by British intelligence and was specifically created to spread disinformation. Hulse believes the Circle Makers' goal is to muddy the waters and confuse serious crop circle researchers to make it as difficult as possible to determine what was and wasn't a genuine crop formation. Now, there's no hard evidence that the Circle Makers or its founder are connected to military intelligence. But in 2009, researcher Richard D. Hall dug into Lundberg's background and found a lot of interesting information.
Like what?
Lundberg
Like what?
got his master's from the Slade School of Fine Art in London in 1992. At this time,
It's
Slade
serious.
was next door to the then secret headquarters of MI5 at 140 Gower Street. It was literally next door. The two buildings shared a courtyard. Hall makes the point that intelligence agencies often recruit final year college students. That's always been true and is still true today. Lundberg started making crop circles immediately after graduating. Hall notes that if you view the HTML source of circlemakers.org, the second keyword is MI5. Now that was in 2009, but even today, the site's keywords contain entries like MI5 and CIA. And something I just noticed while researching this episode, why is alleged CIA asset Jim Schnabel a keyword on this site? In 2004, the Circle Makers website teased Colin Andrews, who at the time was raising money for his research. Circle Makers said that if the fundraising fails, Colin could just join MI5 PSYOPs and retrain to be a crop circles maker. Now, PSYOPs is short for psychological operations, which is the use of psychological techniques and tactics to influence the perceptions, attitudes, and behaviors of a group of people. And this is a type of strategic communication used by military intelligence and government organizations all the time.
It sure is. Just
I've had a lot of wine. I'm enjoying this, but I've had so much wine.
turn on the news.
Well, that's true. If you spent an hour reading the news today, you consumed government intel. Believe me. Now, Hall acknowledges that these references to MI5 seem just too blatant, but he believes they're a double bluff. Meaning, if we sarcastically
I would
connect
dance off in
ourselves
an
to the
hour.
intelligence community, people would think we're joking. Nobody would be so obvious. But this is absolutely a real and effective PSYOPs technique. Hall found that the website was hosted in Pittsburgh. Now, at the time, and even today, to some degree, it's uncommon for British organizations to host their sites in the US. And Hall found that the administrative contact for the domain belongs to a colonel in the US Air Force. Now, it could be a coincidence, but the man has an unusual name. Now, I'm not going to name him here, but I'll link to Hall's research down below. Richard Hall looked into Circle Makers' finances, trying to figure out how they pay their bills. Lundberg had registered a couple of companies, but they were inactive. But there was an interesting quote on the Circle Makers website.
You'd be surprised how expensive running a successful website can be. Don't panic. we're not going to ask you for money. Our retainer, from sources we'd rather not disclose, has kept our virtual head above water.
What does that mean?
What site is this?
From who? Who's financing them? Making crop formations is technically a crime. It's
What site is
trespassing,
this?
vandalism, destruction of private property. What investor would fund that and become complicit in those crimes? Plus, there could be civil liability. If you create a crop circle and a bunch of strangers show up and tear up my field, I could sue you for that. Even if they're minor crimes and rarely prosecuted, it doesn't sound like a good investment. Hall did a land registry check on the apartment where Lundberg was living at the time. He found that technically there are no apartments listed on the deed. Hall dug further and found that there are 4 apartments, including Lundberg's, that have their rents paid by the local government. So, did Richard Hall reveal that John Lundberg is, in fact, an asset working in media whose job is to spread disinformation about crop circles?
Yes.
Well, the evidence Hall provides is purely circumstantial and coincidental, so there's no way to know for sure.
Yes,
In
is
fact,
my
some of
answer
Hall's
yes? My
evidence
answer
is
is
so
yes.
far-fetched, I left it out of this episode. But a few years after Richard Hall conducted his research, Lundberg directed a documentary.
Wait a second.
That I've
Wait a second.
referred to.
So you telling me this guy, he's like, every time? Oh man, this is too crazy to put in a video. You talked about mirrors seeing into the future? Where's your line? Where's the line between potential realism and absurdism? Where is it? Because I don't know where it is. Again, I love this. I love the Y files. I do. But I'm like, what do you mean? Some of it was too absurd to put in a video. Do you know what you talk about? Is it too crazy to believe?
Multiple times on this channel. It's called Mirage Men. Mirage Men covers Richard Doty, a retired special agent who worked for OSI, the United States Air Force Office of Special Investigation, Air Force Intelligence.
That's the one.
Richard Doty is, according to Mirage Men, one of the chief architects of the military's campaign to disseminate lies to the UFO community. In other words, to spread disinformation. Doty's job was to muddy the waters, so UFO researchers wouldn't know what sightings were real and what were hoaxes. Now this is, according to Hall, Hulse, Caton, and many others, exactly what the circle makers have done and have been doing.
But, okay, I get that. CIA is gonna be like, hey, how about you go and lie about this? Lots of people won't know that it's actually real. But like, what? Like, what does that do? I mean, disseminating false information, fine, maybe. But now we're at a point where we're just saying what's happening. So like, how long do they think that up, and how long do they think that they could just like get people to lie about stuff? If that's what's happening, allegedly. Don't sue me, CIA. I have no money. I literally have negative money. Don't sue me.
To the crop
I have so much negative money. It wouldn't be worth it.
Circle's community for years. There's a reason why John Lundberg would make a great intelligence asset, and Rosemary Guiley, and James Schnabel, and countless other writers, journalists, and media figures. They already work in the paranormal community. They're trusted by that community. They continue to do their work, but every so often they spread a little bit of disinformation to that community. A little nugget to steer people away from the truth. This is why you shouldn't trust anyone in the media. Whether it's your favorite news anchor, TV show host, podcaster, blogger, or writer.
Whoa, don't trust anyone. I could be my but that would mean Sunrays, are you in on this?
Be wary of anyone with influence. These media personalities may seem trustworthy. They may seem like they have your best interests in mind, but some of it is just a performance. Not all of it, but some of it is a performance designed to sway your opinion or even alter your entire belief system. The intelligence community does not want you to know the truth about crop circles, UFOs, secret space programs, or alien technology. That's a fact. Millions, perhaps
I just keep
billions
like
of dollars are put into
fanning out my
black budget
hair. I
programs
don't know. I'm
designed to
so,
distract and
I have to
confuse
get
you
myself
from the
together
truth.
before
When
I
CIA
dance
needs to
off.
spread disinformation,
I have to get
they
myself
look for
together before I
trustworthy people
dance
with
off.
large
Oh my
audiences to
god.
deliver their message.
I have to get
So
myself.
keep your eye out for clues. An intelligence operative, an agent, an asset could be anyone.
Shut up, Charlotte! Shut up, I'm fine! Oh, Charlotte, Fancy seeing you here, Charlotte. Fancy seeing. I'm totally sober, and I'm totally fine, and totally ready for our dance. Our dance off. Charlotte. Totally fine. Shut up. I do have to get going though. I lost track of it. I'm officially 1 minute late past the time I told Charlotte I would do prep. So I'm gonna get ready to go. Shut up! I'm gonna get ready to go and get ready with Sharzu. I will talk to you. Dance off will be redirected to Charlotte's channel. An hour and a half. Make sure it's fair and square. You're fun. Looking forward to it. Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Okay. Why is she so messy? Because she's the president of VTuber. Okay? I am doing a dance battle with the president of VTuber. This is not something to take lightly. It's a great opportunity. Thank you, Charlotte. I'll see you soon. Guys, I hope you eat well, rest well, stay hydrated. Being the best you can be. Every day. You'll get hugs, 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 hugs. Demon